You talked about how important this week of practice would be for you guys and having the chance to maybe go a little longer. What have your impressions been from that?
It's been good. We've had time to do exactly that. There were a couple times, even today, this morning, where we were on a drill and it just wasn't going quite the way we wanted. We weren't getting out of it exactly what we wanted. We just added on 4 or 5 minutes. And I rarely do that. But knowing that, the guys don't have any homework, there's not a whole lot going on. So just feel like we have the flexibility to add a few minutes here and there if we need to. So we've taken advantage of that.
Have you sensed like a not relaxation, but maybe more focus from them, like a sense of relief that now it's just basketball now?
Yeah, most days. Today wasn't great. It was decent, but the first half hour it took a while for the guys to get going. Maybe that has something to do with starting fairly early, but once we got going, we had a good workout today. We've had some good practices, and the focus has been good.
You looked at Buffalo much?
I have not. I've not looked at them at all. I've been looking at their stats. Just started kind of combing through their stats last night a little bit and trying to get familiar with some of their players and whatnot. But that's next on my agenda to start watching video. Mm-hmm. Now, we do have a couple coaches that have been watching video, so I have a little bit of a feel for them, but I've not seen anything yet myself.
For these Seattle games, do you have much say in who the opponent is, or is it?
Yeah, we work together with Idle Sports.
Yeah.
And John Hines. In fact, we talked yesterday about the possibility of maybe going on the road next year. Still having a Seattle game, but be going on the road. Maybe do a Big Ten, SEC, ACC school, if we can get the game, and then they would return it the next year. But us trying to get them to initiate or to start the home and home or the neutral, whatever it might be, in Seattle has been very difficult.
Does that surprise you that it's been difficult even in Seattle?
It has. It's been very surprising because I know it's difficult to get teams here, but I thought more guys, more teams would be interested in coming to the Seattle area and playing. But we've not been able to lure too many BCS schools to Seattle to play in the Hardwood Classic over the years.
Does that make you more willing at all to play at a BCS school, or would you rather have, that home game against somebody who's maybe not quite as high profile, but it's at home?
You mean rather than go to Seattle?
Well, you said it's hard to get teams to come here or to Seattle. Does that make you more willing to go on the road just in general to play at teams? Or
Right. We are willing to go and we've been talking about that for a couple of years. We talked about it again yesterday. Let's initiate the conversations with some schools and see if we start out on the road. But we've talked for 3 years about a number of different high-profile teams and trying to get them to come to Seattle to play us. And Portland did a good job of getting Kentucky to Portland and getting UNLV lately to Portland. And a lot of that has to do with bringing Terrence Jones back home and then Michael Mosier back home. Well, unfortunately, Pullman and the Palouse is not home to many kids out there, so that's hard. But we did reach out to schools like Louisville with Peyton Siva and some other schools like that to see if we could get them to play in Seattle. We just have not. There are very few to choose from, and it just hasn't worked out yet. But we continue to try to get those games in Seattle.
And obviously, your next games are in Kennewick too. Just in general, do you like having these home games away from Pullman during break?
That's a great question. A couple of years ago, I would have said no. We really need all of our games on a home court. That's where we need to play on our home court, where we practice every day and work out. But the way the crowds have been the last 2 times out against Fresno State and Jackson State, maybe there's something to be said about going on the road, and if the road's 2 hours away or hour and a half away up to Spokane or over to Seattle, to get better support. We've been able to get good crowds to those games over the last few years, and unfortunately, probably because of finals, but we just have not been able to draw very well here in Pullman, especially the last 2 dates that we've had.
No, I know I heard you tail end of your Pac-12 call earlier. Will practice a little bit today?
Yeah, he probably was out there about a third of the time, and I didn't really notice anything where he wasn't able to move well. So I think he's doing good.
Is the plan to kind of gradually bring him along and see where he is on Friday?
Yeah. Talking to the trainer prior to practice, he said that that's what he would do today, is get him in and out of different drills, and then maybe tomorrow we'll judge it after practice, and then hopefully get him in a few more drills tomorrow and build it up to Friday. But he said, again, before practice today, he said that Friday would still probably be questionable, and it's probably best if we can wait till after Christmas for him to be 100%.
So what's your
Now that's the trainer talking.
Yeah.
I want him out there now.
What's your guys' schedule for Christmas as far as days off and that kind of thing?
Well, we played Buffalo Friday night. It's Friday the 21st, and then we'll have a quick workout the next morning at Seattle Pacific, and then the guys will hit the road from there. Those that are hitting the road going home for a few days. Then we will get back here and practice the evening of the 26th in preparation for the game on the 29th.
I have more questions from the phone. Please say who you're with, your name and who you're with before you ask your question.
Hey, Kim, this is Howie. Could you tell me, I was in the back of the room, I was writing on deadline after the Jackson State game, and I don't know if I caught this wrong, but was there some discussion that Q might be able to practice now?
Yeah, we are waiting to receive his grades and to see how he did this last semester. And there's a chance that he could practice. But we have to go, that's a process. We need to send a waiver into the NCAA and see if we can get that through. But there is hope to get him on the practice court early January.
Great. What's he have to get? Does he have to get like a certain minimum for GPA for the NCAA to approve it?
No, I think they're just looking at his overall situation, but it has to do with academics.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any more questions?
And Chris Chancellor with Cougs, and just as a follow-up to that, so does this count as a redshirt year for Q, or is he classified as a sophomore next year then?
No, he would be. This is his redshirt season, whether he practices or not this next semester, and so he's redshirting this year, and then next year he would be a freshman eligibility-wise.